Let's double your income. Here are 5 steps that you could take today to put you on the path for success. My name is Tony Angelos. I'm a broker here in Chicago, and I'm going to tell you the 5 things that you could do to get you going to where you want to go. Follow me on Instagram at Tony Angelos, where I post a ton more stuff that you could take a look at way more frequently. And before we get started, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and let's get going. First thing you got to do, identify your target. Clearly identify your target, I mean. So many people are going around and they say they want a lot of things. I want to be rich. I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. But without specifically identifying what that means, your brain has nowhere to focus on. You're running around like a chicken without a head. What does that mean for you? Success, what does that mean for you? Wealth, what does that mean? The strategy to get $200,000 in income is totally different than the strategy to go get $2 million a year. By specifically identifying what you're targeting, you can help craft a plan that could put you on the path to where you want to go. The moment that you clarify what you're actually focusing on, your brain will focus in on it and block everything out, kind of like a horse running on a racetrack. And you could clearly identify where you're going and put an effective plan in place. Well, at least the groundworks of an effective plan. Start getting you some momentum, because momentum is what we need right now. The second thing that you need to focus on before we get going on anything else is you need to find your why. Simon Sinek, he's a great writer. He's got a really great book called Start With Why, and he's got a very famous TED Talk that you've probably seen on Facebook or something about finding your why. Watch the TED Talk at the very least. Do yourself a favor and read the book though. And think about why you're in business in the first place. What's your purpose? What's the thing that gives you fulfillment? Why are you a real estate agent? Why are people going to buy from you? Why are people going to work from you? Until you understand your why, you're not going to be able to effectively go after whatever your true target, your true outcome is. The why is going to give you guidance, it's going to give you clarity, and it's going to help you stay focused on that really jagged road that we take of, commission, no commission, commission, no commission. Having a why to propel you forward is the only thing that's going to keep you momentum. Because everything else is just noise. It's not very compelling. Nothing for us to attach ourselves to. Once we can attach ourselves to something, it's gonna pull us. Pulling is a much more powerful force than pushing. When you're getting pulled towards something, you can't you're drawn to it. You don't want to be pushed towards anything. When you push towards something, you pull away from it. Your why is gonna be your deep sense of purpose for what you're doing, why you're doing it in the first place. And this is also going to align with your customers. When you think about why would somebody buy from you, the truth is most realtors are kind of like a commodity. There's very little to differentiate you from somebody else. So why would somebody buy from you over the other broker in your neighborhood? You could say, well, I'm a local expert, or I've been around for a long time, but that's all bullshit, let's be honest. That's not a very compelling reason why somebody would buy from you. Because at the end of the day, people are going to buy from people that they like and people that they see. The truth is, once you identify your why, you're going to be unstoppable. If you don't really have a purpose for why you're doing something, if you don't really feel like a strong pull to your target, once you get discouraged, as realtors often do, you're just going to stop. You're going to say, forget that, I'm done with it. But if you have a strong why that's pulling you, no matter how many obstacles you hit, you are going to get it. You are going to go and you are going to get it and crush it and take it, and it's yours. Nothing's going to come in your way. Aside from, attracting clients, which it also does, having a strong purpose of a strong brand, your why is your brand also. Having a strong why also solidifies it within yourself. It's going to be a way for you to blend your passion and your goals. Your why might be to spend more time with your children. You want to be able to make all their soccer games and their birthday parties, and you don't want to have to go to an open house on the last minute or whatever that might be. Hold on to that. Let that be the anchor that's pushing you forward and towards your goals. Pulling you towards your goals. Focus on why you're actually doing things, why you're doing it. So those first 2 steps are a little bit more abstract. Identifying a target, being real specific about it, understanding your why, figuring out your why, taking the time to do that exercise on yourself, do that work on yourself. Those are a little bit more abstract. Now we're going to move into more of the tactical aspects of this, I would say. So number 3 is your lead gen. Focus on your lead gen. How are you going to fill your pipeline? Because I think I read it somewhere that like maybe millionaire real estate agent or something like that, 80% of our job is lead generation. We are lead generators. And oftentimes when people ask me like, what makes a really good realtor? I often say, how good are they at marketing? Because that's really what makes a really good realtor in my opinion. We are modern day marketers of homes and ourselves. So focusing on lead gen is the next step. So let me ask you a question. If I asked you, what is your go-to play? If you had to say, you got one shot, you need to get a closing, you need a commission check, what's your move? Where are you going to get that sale? When I think about lead gen, I think about pillars. I'm Greek, so I kind of have like a mental image of the Acropolis in my head, and each pillar is a different lead generation channel. On the one side, you might have like Facebook ads that you're running at $5 a day just to kind of promote yourself. Think of it like a billboard almost. Whether it's retargeting ads or searching for buyers or sellers or whatever, whatever strategy you're doing, that might be one pillar. The middle pillar, which is probably the most important in my opinion, is going to be your social media. And this is also where most people fall short. Just today, actually, a guy who's studying for his broker's license reached out to me. He's like, hey, Tony, what is the hardest part about getting started or something like that? He was asking me like, what's the initial hurdle? And I said, social media. It's the one area that is free. You can get a lot of business and don't have that much competition, but people don't do it. Why? Well, maybe it's uncomfortable to get in front of a camera. Like, I'll be honest, it's uncomfortable for me to get in front of this camera, but it is free advertising and it could go viral. When something has a virality to it like this, you have to take advantage of it, because maybe 10 years ago, you were doing a power hour and you were calling like 20 or 30 people and like that was it. Well, now over the course of an hour, you can post a reel on Instagram or TikTok or something like that. It could get in front of 10,000 people over the next day. You can comment on people's pictures or videos or whatever, respond to people's stories, and you could get in front of way more people. That's so many more eyes for free. And you don't have to cold call, which is always a plus. Nobody likes to cold call. No one likes to get cold calls. It's still an effective tool, but not as effective as social media. So make that a pillar no matter what. But when you have these pillars, you have to think about like, how are you filling your pipeline? Your lead generation is your way to market and expose yourself to new prospective business. Do yourself a favor, take some time, think about all the different pillars that you have that you're using to generate business, how much it's costing you, and how it fits into your ecosystem. You gotta be omnipresent everywhere on all the channels as much as you can. Even if it's just like for an hour a day, interacting with people just to show them you're still there, because if you're out of mind, you're out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. That's the phrase. If you're out of sight, you're out of mind. You're gonna lose that sale. Don't lose the sale. Just be present. Show up. It's not that hard. This takes me to the next step, number 4, which is your systems. When a lead comes in, what does that lead life cycle look like? You need to put those pipelines in place, because if somebody's filling out an ad for, homes for sale, well, the dialogue that you're going to have with them is way different than the dialogue of somebody who, I don't know, is looking to sell their house, for example. Like, the way that a lead comes in needs to have its own talk track. And there are a lot of ways to do this in a systematized and scalable way. So let's review. All right, now that we have our leads coming in, our systems in place, what do we do now? We have to measure. We've got to measure results. We have to measure them often. That could be daily measurements, monthly, definitely yearly, definitely monthly. But what kind of things are we measuring? Well, for starters, if you have a good CRM, it should make this a lot easier, because it can measure how often you're following up with somebody, where all your leads are coming from, where all your deals are coming from, what lead channels your deals are originating at, and probably assign a value to each one of those channels. And that's all important stuff. If you're running Facebook ads, for example, you're going to want to know which Facebook ads are performing well, which Facebook ads are not performing well, and you can find that in your Facebook ad manager. But it's going to be a similar process when you're looking inside your CRM and getting an understanding of like, maybe this one ad you're getting a ton of leads from, but they're all trash. None of them are converting, and you're having all these pointless dead-end conversations. You call them, nothing happens. And you run this other ad, the lead cost is maybe a little bit higher, but these are high quality leads. They're converting. They're ready now, and that doesn't happen a lot with online leads. So you're going to want to double down on that, scale up that advertising, and you would not know that just by looking at the Facebook metrics, because if one lead is giving you a lead of like, $4 per lead, another one's giving you a cost of $30, $50 per lead, you would never scale up that $50 lead unless you were measuring that in your CRM to say, wait a minute, these are actually converting. That's where the money is. Go get the money. So let's review. Step number 1. What is it? It is, wait for it, drumroll please. Start with your outcome in mind. Step number 2, find and develop your why. You got to work at it. You got to take the time to think about it. Think about what's important to you. Think about why you're really doing this. Step number 3 is your lead generation. How are you filling your pipeline and exposing yourself to new business? Lead generation is step number 3. Step number 4 is optimizing your systems, putting systems in place. What happens to the leads when they come in? How are you speaking to them? How are you handling them? How are you interacting with them? How are they being categorized? These are the systems that you need to have. And finally, step number 5, measure. Measure often, measure frequently, and measure the most important KPIs that are going to help you take your business to the next level. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you feel like you learned something, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment. And some of the steps that you guys have, let me know, put them in the comments. What are the things that you do that help you elevate your business past the 10 million, past the 20 million, and way beyond that? How did you get there? I want to know in the comments. Leave it below. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Tony Angelos, and I'll see you at the next video. Take care.